Hi, I'm Josh, welcome to a new video, and today I'll be doing a recap of the albums I listened to in February. If you remember from my past recap video, the last album I listened to last month was Pose by Björk, and the first one of this month was Homogenic by Björk too. Her music is so interesting, it really makes your ears wonder what are they listening to. The experience it gives you is one of a kind, different to anything you'd usually listen. And Björk herself is a fantastic singer, has an amazing voice, and her control over it is mind-blowing. Now, I enjoyed this record, but I feel like it never actually starts. And I feel the same way for some of the songs on it too. Plus, they sound very similar to each other, so for me, there's not many moments that really stand out. This record is artistically and musically brilliant, but listening to it entirely is not that fun for me. Favorite song on it? Hunter. Crazy song in a good sense. Second record I listened to this month was Imagine by John Lennon, and while it was a little repetitive, I enjoyed pretty much every song on it. There were a couple I really liked, like Triple Inside and All My Love. I even added them to my Beatles playlist. And of course it has Imagine, one of my favorite songs of all time. But that's about it. Took me a long while to check this record, but I finally did. Next album was Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue, and while I really like their songs, their albums are not as good. With this one, I'm 50-50. I really like most of the songs on the first half of it. Shout at the Devil and Looks Like Kill are great songs, and God Bless the Children of the Beast definitely got my attention, that was a surprise. But the second half of it is so forgettable. You may like a couple riffs or drum parts, but you won't remember anything 5 minutes after finishing the song. Favorite song? Shout at the Devil. That one's a killer. Next, and I don't know how to pronounce the name of this record, The Mysteries Dom Satanas by Mayhem. Okay, I've never listened to black metal. Never. I was even scared of it when I got into heavier music. But some weeks ago, I got the curiosity to listen to a black metal album, especially one by Mayhem. So I went to listen to this one, which is often considered one of the essential records of black metal. And even though there were many things I didn't like about it, I actually really enjoyed it. I had a blast listening to it. It had some killer songs like Freezing Moon, Pagan Fears, From the Dark Past, and the title track was crazy good too. Bunch of sick riffs, the drums were brutal. I don't like Attila Sihar's voice that much, but I can listen to it. And something fun happened while listening to this record. The thing that's holding my phone right now fell to the ground, and there was simply no way that it could have fallen. And yet it did. So I'll always have that little anecdote about this record. One of my best friends says it was dead saying hi. And I guess it was. Next we have Leprosy by Death. As you can see, that day I was... I enjoyed this record. I really enjoyed Death in general. They connected with me since the very first time I listened to them. Still, I think this album is missing a little of the development they will later have, especially talking about the value each song has and how much it adds to the record. Because there are songs that, honestly, I don't think they add that much. But it does have some great songs like Left to Die, where Chuck did a brutal performance. The scream the intro of this song has is insane. And of course, Pull the Plug, amazing track. Again, talking about the screams, there's one that goes from side to side, and that's super cool. In general, I think this album still has an early, raw sound that's undeniably cool, but it was missing development. For example, the guitar tone. I don't like it that much. I think it's missing a little bit of body maybe, or aggressiveness. Later in their career they developed such a good tone for the guitars, and Chuck, while I like his singing here, I definitely prefer what he'd be doing in Symbolic and The Sound of Perseverance. This was a good record, I enjoyed it, and my favorite song was Pull the Plug. Now quite a change of sound. Equals Vagiachiran. Okay, this record was a surprise, because I didn't enjoy X as much, and I heavily disliked Bad Habits and Shivers. I still don't know how those were successful, because I think they suck. The thing is, I was expecting this record would be as bad, and it actually wasn't. It was listenable, and even enjoyable for the most part. There were a couple of really nice songs. It wasn't mind-blowing by any means, and most of it is average at best. But I didn't hate it, and I won't deny I really vibed to Overpass Graffiti, Stop the Rain, and Live Your Life. God, I love Live Your Life, that song is great. And this record has a really beautiful one like The Joker and the Queen. I really liked it. It gave me chills even. And you wanna know something? I prefer the original version rather than the Taylor Swift one. Yes, I said it. I love both versions, but I prefer the one with that alone. Cause it keeps the emotion better through the song. It hits harder. So yeah, this record was fun, even when the production sucks. Like, there's so much noise in the background, I had to listen to this record with relative low volume. My favorite song on it is probably Live Your Life. I really like the song, and the acoustic version is bomb. Next is Divide by the one and only Ed Sheeran again. Yes, I decided to listen to the rest of his albums. And you know, again, I kinda like this record. I really like the first half of it. Castle on a Hill and Happier, really nice songs. I enjoy Galway Girl. I've liked Shape of You since it was released, and Perfect is an incredibly beautiful song. It makes me wanna love someone, you know, and it has definitely brought my tears out a couple times. Now the thing is, I don't like the second half as much. It's not that bad, but it's not really interesting. I don't like New Man. Well, first, I don't like Ed Sheeran's rapping, but I can let it pass. But the lyrics were horrible and the music wasn't great, so I definitely didn't like that song. In general, I don't think this record is bad at all. Something I really like about it is that there's a variety of sounds. The songs don't sound the same, and that makes it more fun for me. It's an easy, enjoyable listen, and the one I like the most from him. My favorite song on it is by far Perfect. And to finish with Mr. Sheeran, we have Plus, which is probably the one I enjoyed the least from him. Most of the songs sounded the same, with very few that actually stood out. I got bored of it pretty quickly. Maybe I should listen to it again to get a clearer view of it, but I don't think I will anytime soon. There were moments I really disliked, like whenever Ed does the beatbox thing at the beginning of the songs. I find those terrible, and his rapping on this album is the one I've enjoyed the least from him, which is something. A song I enjoyed was Wake Me Up. The lyrics were but the music is nice. The songs I liked the most were the last two, Kiss Me and Give Me Love, which I find interesting, but yeah, I loved that performance on both of them, and the music was really good, especially in Give Me Love. I think the guitars on that song and the bridge of Kiss Me were the moments I liked the most on the record. One thing about Give Me Love though, why does it have pretty much an entire whole song at the end of it? Makes no sense. It's supposed to be a hidden track, but come on, just cut it please. My favorite song on it was Give Me Love. I really like it. Now, I'm not a grunge fan at all. The only grunge album I actually liked before this one was 10 by Pearl Jam, but I decided to give a listen to Facelift by Alice in Chains, because I had always listened good things about it, and fun fact, I had never listened to a single Alice in Chains song before, so I had no idea what to expect from this record. And even though I thought I would not like it, it ended up being a really good listen. Hell yeah, I loved every song from Sea of Sorrow to Sunshine. There were a bunch of sick riffs like the pre-chorus one in Sunshine, really interesting clean parts in songs like Love Hate Love, vocals were really good too, I loved the sound and the drums, and the mixing in general was very on point. Though there's something I found funny about every grunge album, and that's how desperate Metallica were to jump in the grunge train in Load and Reload. Even though I like Load, they lost all sense of authenticity trying to replicate the sound, sometimes even ripping it off. Listen to Facelift and then listen to Load. It's surreal how much they're taking from Alice in Chains. But yeah, this was a definitely cool listen, and my favorite song on it was Sunshine. I really like that song. Next, and I'm sorry for how negative this will be, In Utero by Nirvana. Not only I didn't like this record at all, but it also disappointed me. People love this record so much, and I seriously don't understand why. How can anyone possibly enjoy a song like Radio Friendly Unit Shifter? And if that was the only case in the record, okay, but pretty much every song on it is as boring and senseless. The amount of on-purpose noise this record has makes it unlistenable for me. I don't get it. I don't know where the praise for this record comes from. The guitars were either boring or awful and sounded terrible either way. Vocals were not even close to good. The only thing I liked were the drums. They sounded really good. But God, I hated this record. Nevermind is one of the records I've liked the least in my life, and this one was even worse. This one had absolutely nothing I liked. Nevermind has like 3 songs I absolutely love, and I can listen and enjoy the first half of it. But this one has some of the worst guitar work I've heard in my life. I truly think Lil Wayne's solo is better than 95% of this record. And that final 5% is Hershey Box. I don't care if it's basic. I don't care at all, but I love that song. And I don't know how can such a good song be on such a bad record. I'll never listen to it again. Never. Easily one of the worst things I've ever listened to in my life. And my favorite song on it is Hershey Box, obviously. Again, sorry for how negative that was. This time's gonna be better. Cause next we have Norman effing Rockwell. I love this record. I seriously love this record. And I'll try not to overreact it or overhype it. But seriously, this record was so good. There wasn't a single song I didn't enjoy. I didn't like a couple though. But out of the 14 songs it has, I loved 10 of them. I wasn't expecting that. Caught me super off guard, but I don't complain. What an excellent album. It's such a nice feeling when you find an album you like this much. Cause lately I haven't found many of them. You know, those kinds of records that really surprise you. And this one was definitely a surprise. Cause most times when I listen to a record people praise this much, it doesn't live up for the expectations for me. Which is not the record's fault. But the thing is, this one lived and exceeded those expectations. That doesn't happen often. And there was something I was worried about this record before listening to it, and that's its length. Because I do believe the perfect length is 40 something minutes. So when it goes over that, I tend to be picky. And this one is an hour and 7 minutes long. But I swear I enjoyed every single minute of it from start to end. There was not a single moment on it when I was not enjoying it. Amazingly beautiful record, loved the instrumentals, loved Lana Del Rey's voice, loved Jack Antonoff's production, loved this record. I definitely recommend it, I think you should check it, and if you do, let me know what you think. Now, I don't have a favorite song on this record, cause I love the song so much I can't really choose. But 3 that stand out for me are Mariner's Apartment Complex, The Greatest, and How to Disappear. We're getting to the end. Next record was Enter the Wu Tang 36 Chambers by the Wu Tang Clan. Again, not a big fan of East Coast hip hop. I don't like the style of the beats that much, though of course the rappers are amazing, and that was the case here too. Musically, there were very few songs that actually got my attention, but the way all the members shine in this album was amazing. I mean, all of them have unique characteristics and style that make them stand out to the point where even if it's your first time listening to it, by the end of the record you'll be able to recognize some of the vocals. I find that impressive, and I think it speaks for the quality of the group, where each of the members adds a little bit to the music they make. In terms of lyrics, performance, and vocals, this record was amazing. The music is not my style as I said, but if you enjoy East Coast hip hop, then this record is a must. I do find fascinating how influential this record was, not only for East Coast, but hip hop in general. My favorite song on the record was CREAM. It had a really cool beat and a very good performance over it. Before going to the last one, there were some records I listened to this month that I don't have anything special to say about them, but I'll list them, and they were K12 by Melanie Martinez, How I'm Feeling Now by Charlie XCX, Yay, and Jesus is King by Yay, and Pinkerton by Weezer. And finally, the last record I listened to this month was Dirt by Alice in Chains. It was okay, not as good as Facelift, but it wasn't half bad. Had a good time listening to it. The thing is, there wasn't really a song that stood out for me. Besides the opening track, Them Bones, which is killer. The good thing about this record is that there was an improvement in Alice in Chains. The lyrics and the way they sound as a band, I think that's better than in Facelift. Especially the lead guitars. They sound amazing. Such a good guitar tone. And that's about it. In February, I listened to 18 albums. 5 more than last month. Not bad. I definitely recommend you Norman effing Rockwell. I promise it's worth it. And I also think you should maybe give a listen to Enter the Wu Tang and Facelift. Both are really good, and if you have any album recommendations, leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to listen to them. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Check my music if you haven't yet. It's available everywhere, but you'll have the Spotify link in the description for you to go check it. I'd really appreciate if you do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I've been waiting for years, hoping there's still a chance that you'll come visiting someday. Don't care if the cars are rusty, the wall is black, you can still pretend it's fun at least for a